On January 3rd, 2025, this skinny old man said he had a BMW motorcycle at home. At first I was half skeptical, but it really was a BMW, and it even had a lot of buttons like those on a luxury car. When I lifted the rag covering it, I found it was actually huge. The old man said his brother traded for this bike, and it had been parked in his shed for many years. Later, it was pushed back into the shed and left there for another 2 or 3 years. Altogether, it hadn't been ridden for almost 10 years. Now it's about to head south for retirement. The old man initially asked for $10,000, but in the end, I got it for $6,500 plus 2 cans of low-quality oil and brought it back with me. This bike is super heavy, almost 800 gin, about 400 kilograms, but the key was lost during that move, so now I can only try to come up with some clumsy way to break it open. Wish me luck.
If you ever lose your bike key again, you can call me. I won't go with you, but I'll rescue you remotely.
With my amateur lockpicking skills, if I can only open one side, it's probably because one of the teeth is off by half a notch. I thought the box in the back might have something good for me. Because back then, anyone who could afford to buy this bike was no ordinary guy, but now there's only this inside. I don't even know what this is for, but I have a feeling it doesn't belong to this bike. There's actually a seat heating button hidden here, and this part is even a hydraulic support rod. Looks like this bike is pretty well equipped. The original battery was definitely wasted, but after connecting the wires and turning the key, the dashboard lit up and the horn worked when I pressed it. So I thought, if I just add some fuel, everything should be good to go. I spent 6,500 yen to build a big building, and then I couldn't help but grin, showing my big teeth. But it wouldn't start. I could only wait for a bit. At first I suspected that I hadn't connected the wires properly, then I wondered if the start button was broken, but it didn't really seem like that. It looked more like the starter motor just couldn't turn over. This could be a real problem. If the starter motor can't turn, it's usually one of two things. Either the starter itself is faulty or the engine is seized up inside. I was starting to think, how could I get such a big vehicle for so little money? It really seemed like a great deal, but now I've discovered that inside, there's actually a 4-cylinder engine, and it's mounted sideways. This type of engine has one fatal flaw. Sludge buildup causes oil collection issues. Had I known about this design, I wouldn't have paid $6,500. I regret it now. Nothing else matters. Let's pull the shell to find the issue. Hopefully it's just many years, you can still see how excellent the craftsmanship is, and even the features are full of that German flavor. There are even 2 native residents that came with the car. They've both frozen stiff. It truly lives up to being an intercontinental touring cruiser. The fuel tank is huge. I just wanted to check the condition of the starter, but I've already used up half a tank of gas.
I think I might have found the problem. There's a red wire connected to the rear mount of the starter.
Most likely it's this red wire causing the issue. The end has already turned copper green, so the problem should be oxidation leading to poor contact and insufficient current for starting. I'll have to replace another layer. I pressed a new copper washer onto it and put it back in place. The position is really awkward, but then I plugged it directly into the wall to test the power. That's right, the problem was caused by the oxidation of this little part. I took half of it apart to check, sleep, and tackle it again tomorrow. Yesterday, because one of the copper wires on the starter oxidized, I ended up taking apart half the car. Today, I'll check the ignition circuit as well, so we don't have to go through all this trouble again later. I've learned my lesson this time.
Sorry about that, then I'll double the card for you.
From what I can tell, this spark plug is probably being replaced for the first time, and it's even a dual electrode type. To make things easier, I just put it directly on the tester to check how it's working. The condition of all 4 spark plugs isn't great, but they're still barely usable, so I just put them back in the car. Not bad, there's high voltage coming out, and then I went ahead and measured the cylinder pressure for each cylinder as well. Each cylinder has over 10 bars of pressure coming out. This is the strongest one I've ever worked on among these cars, which definitely means it's got a lot of horsepower. Now, I'm sure there's no problem with the electrical system, so next I'll deal with this troublesome fuel tank. Fortunately, the tank is made of plastic, so there's no rust inside, but the fuel pump here is disappointing. I'll just hook it up to a power source and test it directly. Sure enough, there's no response. I'll stick to my usual method and give it a shake from both sides. Make sure you secretly remember this trick and don't let you know who find out. When the car runs out of fuel, you can try tapping or shaking the fuel pump. There's a good chance it'll work. Also, I discovered something really poorly designed about this car. They actually put the air filter underneath the fuel tank. That means even for a simple maintenance job, you have to take apart half the car like I did. So, looking at it this way, this filter was most likely manufactured on December 19th, 2005. No. Now the fuel's been added and the power's connected, so I can try starting it up. Wish me luck. Now the car still isn't getting any fuel. I suspect the problem is still somewhere in the fuel line. This morning we both tapped on the fuel pump, so the issue can only be at the fuel injectors. But after taking them out, it doesn't seem like that's the problem. Testing them directly with power didn't show any issues. There's a direct network connection. You think the problem isn't in the fuel line, at least these fuel injectors aren't the issue. Buying this for $6,500 really brought home a project. Nothing has gone smoothly. There are obstacles everywhere. Now it does start, but only for a moment, since it can't get fuel. After a while, it can start again. Since the problem isn't in the fuel system, I checked the ignition circuit, and I'm sure there's nothing wrong with it. Then I carefully looked through the repair manual and even used professional BMW diagnostics, but still found nothing. Hey, do you want to compensate me for one? I feel like maybe it's just that the little guy isn't firing and it's tying him up as well as me. Is it possible that it's a phantom issue? Please believe me, at the end of science, you'll always find traditional Chinese wisdom. Now I'm totally confused too. I'm not sure where the problem is, and I don't even know what I'm looking for. Anyway, after a few days, I noticed that after it stalls by itself, this light for the swelling pipe stays on. So I pulled off this pipe, oil came out of one end, but the other end wasn't even letting air through. That doesn't fit with Newton's laws. I started pouring in some cleaner, and I found a lot of gunk inside. It seemed like it was clogged. We lifted the cover together, but I felt like the problem was right here. So I cleaned out the fuel line, wiped it down, and put it back onto the fuel tank. I'm not even sure if that's really the problem. Let's just wish ourselves good luck. See, I told you, at the end of science, you'll always find a bit of our traditional wisdom. Just a tiny return oil pipe being clogged held me up for 4 or 5 days. Luckily, I blew it out in time and exposed its true colors. Now let's quickly put everything back together and test the other functions of the car. If something else doesn't work, I'll blow that out too. Now the front and rear tires are fully inflated, the car has been put back together, and it's ready for a test drive. Wish me luck. Even though this car has been sitting unused for almost 10 years with no one touching it, its performance and comfort are still impressive. Looks like those 2 leaking cylinders were worth fixing. Wishing you good health and prosperity. Yeah.